to God. The white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above when they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white man. Need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, ask you to stop and ask you to prop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up on parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world, it don't go together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settle. Yeah, see the props. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the props. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know, they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world, and know boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the props. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to prop. With step, I'm silent for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no loss, ain't no token when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slave. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, your baby pants through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby so belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will fail, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
See, y'all think it's just about us in here, but this is about an oppressive, fucked up system designed to keep niggas down and shit. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. What about you, little nigga? You know about that?
Yes.
Oh, you know about that? Tell me what you know about that. Tell me what you think about that.
I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This niggas that light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. Belly of the beast, we been living in hell. They like, damn Kai, how could you tell? Put us in the project, set us up to fail. Round here, bullets be flying like hell. Too many of my niggas either dead or in jail. Make a nigga work when you locked in a cell. Can't find work when you out on bail, but your homie got the work, so we passed you a scale. Got them birds like the Bible got quail. Niggas selling out cause they mama got bills. Turning to coons like Oprah and Gail. How you sell your soul just to get a little kale? They put you in a dress when you get a record deal. Wanna see a nigga getting high on pills? You can dance on a pole, you can sell that tail, but they never tell a nigga that he can go to Yale. We all created equal, that's white males. All lives matter, not black males. Another mother crying, another coffin got a nail. How many brothers out here got killed? How many of our sisters out here gotta heal? How many more caps gotta get peeled? We beef with each other so quick to pull the steel. George Zimmerman still alive and well. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Feel. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. Feel. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill, chill, yo, chill.
Prison industrial complex is a system situated at the intersection of government and private interests. It uses prisons as a solution to social, political, and economic problems. It includes human rights violations, the death penalty, slave labor, policing, courts, the media, political prisoners, and the elimination of dissent.
They just want us to die in silence. They just want us to die in silence. I might start me a fucking riot. Slave rebellion, no compliance. They just want us to die in silence. They murder minds like they got a license. I pray for the coronavirus to kill all of these violent tyrants. They prey on us like they poaching lions. World War III's on the horizon. Black and Hispanics form alliance. From the west coast to the islands, this pressure is making diamonds. They've awakened sleeping giants. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. But feel.
Nigga, did you just say what I was trying to say, but smarter? I like this little nigga.
One West, 12 tribes, UPK. Yeah. I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. Ever since a nigga was young, I knew what I wanted. Knew that we could either be hunters or with the hunted. Meaning only choice was the predators or the prey. Showed this man wherever I was, but I didn't play. Then I started spitting, set fire to every stage. Rap gave a little bit of buzz, but it didn't stay. Then I started hustling, getting at some bread. I always went broke, making sure that my niggas fed. But then I looked for loyalty, niggas, they wasn't there. The same that I shed blood for, and it wasn't fair. But fuck it though, turn they back on a real nigga. It's when I found UPK and I'm still with them. Trill with them, cause I've been in the field with them. Fringed up garments, rocking the shield with them. I never turn traitor, I never let my colors fly. Never get my brother's bosom. I ain't like that other guy, nothing like them funny groups. They just better get in line. If you in the middle, you confused, you should pick a side. Me, I must stay loyal to the king till the day I die. I am One West, head beating in my chest. Fuck all the rest, we stayed, y'all left. Suckers ran scared, had to clean up y'all mess. That's why we took over, I can see that y'all stressed. We ain't got time to worry about no hater. My life is like a movie, should come with a narrator. They gather data, they wanna see us assimilated. Marching through the streets, know we coming, you hear our cadence. All you smell is Henny and frankincense is the fragrance. Cause I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. My squad is forever. It's forever. Squad is forever. When a nigga in this mode like I get so hyped, shining blinding like a strobe light. I'm my only calm, so I battle me back and forth nights. Like a bullfight, I see red charge and destroy might. Gave me foresight, so I know that winning the war might have them all tight. Fuck they feelings, cause they the soft type. I was always taught never turn your back on your brothers. Take on any enemy, know the strength in these numbers. UPK official, and ain't no coward among us. So make me go and bang with them sticks like I'm a drummer. How y'all gonna run with the style that we invented? You always talk the war was wild, but you never in it. All that coulda, shoulda, woulda. I see how you try to spin it. The way my soldiers move out, you think that we got evicted. It's One West in the building, we owning it while you renting. Lyrical exercise in the booth is my plan of fitness. Words move you like calisthenics. Bars heavy, so when I bench it, I'm building up a hardcore. I flex when I'm finished. And right after a light workout, it's back to business. Group sick of UPK, cause we the illest. I got one question, will they ever stop hating? Waiting on this war so long, I'm salivating. Niggas turn bitch so strong, I call them Caitlyn. I get the green light, it's go, no hesitation. Y'all just been holding our spot like reservations. Now we back to work while you suckers still on vacation. Mixtape singles and even collaborations. They smiling in the face, but I know I see aggravation. You ain't got to hide it though, you fucking mighty cone. UPK bringing that heat, you know the fire's on. It's One West. cause I'm a one West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I ride for those letters, the squad is forever. One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I ride for those letters, the squad is forever. It's forever. The squad is forever.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. This shit. Yeah. Go ahead.
Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Go ahead. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. Go ahead. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead. This shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, 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 Vij. Hear them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. I'm on my grind, bitch, and working. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, cause they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. If he cross the line, I'm gonna back up and I'ma hit his ass with this virus. When I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas we eat. I'm in this bitch with the itis. Say, all y'all do the street. Day all do the street. The nigga made the wrong move, he make his ass obsolete. He ain't one of us, hit the lead. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, but I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we pace. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit.
I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead.
One West is to raid, son. That's where I came from. That is my A1s. I'm talking day one. Rest of these niggas out here is just fake, son. Look, you can hate, son. You cannot take, son. I've been in every hood out of my state, son. Out in these streets, I'm steady blazing. Looking to cut a nigga like I'm Jason. I am the one. This is the Matrix. Going so hard that they think I'm an agent. Going so hard that they said I'm a Mason. These are the facts, though. I'm just amazing. There is no other way that I could state them. I earn my spot, it'll never be vacant. These niggas lazy. They got complacent. They wanna level these fucking Caucasians. How the fuck we gonna rebuild our nation? You niggas feminine, go get some makeup. Sorry, but my love is only for Jacob. We had some hard days, we learned some hard ways. Always always. Just know that I pray that we get it out the dust. Only thing that I trust, knowing that my niggas gon' bust. That's thumbing up the rush, thinking that you won't get touched. Fuck when my brother get crushed, been through too much. Always come through in the clutch. Nigga just do what it does, fuck you thought shit was. Cause nigga it wasn't. Know that I do this a dozen. Always kept it 100. Niggas know I never stunning. And I keep shit running, even on the days when the pain keep coming, or a nigga fucked up and he feel like numbing. Show goes on, I just keep on drumming my fate. Even on the days I wanna break, saying how much could I take, still kept my faith. Even when these niggas act fake, even when it came like a snake, still kept my faith. Some days I ain't even wanna wake, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break, some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith.
Dark days with no night vision, that's why my heart is a cave and there's ice in it. Don't even trust niggas no more, Lord is my witness. Me and these niggas ain't the same, it's a slight difference. Thought a nigga had my back, now it's a knife in it. But now I'm back at the back like it's the ninth inning. Still got the backpack packed in the back of the camp van, taking any given chance to blaze on the white man. Son of Benjamin, born on the right hand, never losing grip, I understand who I am. Met a man to show me the right path, now I'm rooted in the truth, to rule is my plan. And I can never lose sight like an eye exam. Sharp as
The streets put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, but I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we pace. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit.
I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngest did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell them get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Nigga, come through all black Gullah Jack, man, all them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black Gullah Jack, man, all them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black Gullah Jack, man, all them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead.
One West is to raise, son, that's where I came from. That is my A1s, I'm talking day one. Rest of these niggas out here is just fake, son. Look, you can hate, son, you cannot take, son. I've been in every hood out of my state, son. Out in these streets, I'm steady blazing. Looking to cut a nigga like I'm Jason. I am the one, this is the matrix. Going so hard that they think I'm an agent. Going so hard that they said I'm a mason. These are the facts, though, I'm just amazing. There is no other way that I could state them. Iron my spotted, they'll never be vacant. These niggas lazy, they got them blazing. They wanna level these fucking Caucasians. How the fuck we gonna rebuild our nation? You niggas feminine, go get some makeup. Sorry, but my love is only for Jacob. We had some hard days, we learned some hard ways. Always, just know that I pray that we get it out the dust. Only thing that I trust, knowing that my niggas gon' bust. That's thumbing up the rush, thinking that you won't get touched. Fuck when my brother get crushed, been through too much. Always come through in the clutch. Nigga just do what it does, fuck you thought shit was. Cause nigga it wasn't. Know that I do this a dozen. Always kept it 100. Niggas know I never stunning. And I keep shit running, even on the days when the pain keep coming, or a nigga fucked up and he feel like numbing. Show goes on, I just keep on drumming my fate. Even on the days I wanna break, saying how much could I.
Let's clap it up. Shalom Israel, y'all Bashim, y'all shout out to the brothers. Y'all small Bashim, y'all shout out to the sisters. Well, the ISUPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West on the 25th Street, New York. We are led by Commander General Yohana, coming at you live from Twin Cities, Minnesota, Tuesday Brotherhood class. I'm preaching officer with 1,000 among the bar. So now we still got the candles burning because we still in the days of dedication. So make sure that, you know, at sundown you get something lit up. Don't bring your house down though. So when you go to sleep, you know, you can knock the candles out just to keep everybody safe. You know, light what you got. If you ain't got a menorah, you got just one single candle or something like that, no sweat. You know, light it up in remembrance.
That's right.
So Tuesday Brotherhood class. Some of the things I'm gonna go over with today are some of the arguments that or some of the battles rather that I've been having on Clubhouse. I pissed a lot of people off this one.
Oh, this one.
Pissed a lot of people off this one.
What's the name of the room?
It was an atheist one. I've been kind of giving them hell lately. I've been looking to push some buttons over there.
As you should.
Because like they bring up some interesting arguments. Some of them, I mean, a lot of it is kind of the same old rhetoric that you're gonna hear from a lot of them. You know, slavery this, slavery that, and you know, you got this omnipresent, omnibenevolent God. Like the main thing that you got to understand is they barely understand Christianity and Islam.
Right.
They don't know the Bible at all.
That's right.
All they know is the stigmatisms from the Catholic Church, from the Christian background. That's it. That's all they ever go off. They hate the King James Version because, again, the stigma, the dogma on these records. For whatever reason, they think some of the different translations are better, more accurate, because it'll say certain words that kind of feed into their propaganda.
Right.
So like in the King James, when they bring up that about slavery, you know, servants obey your masters. They're slaves obey your masters. That's what they think the Bible says.
Right.
In the King James, though, it's talking about your servants. Ain't nothing wrong with having servants. We're doing it today, and people want to think, you know, it's a job and things like that. Like you got people that will spend 40, 50, 60 years, you know, at their job, 10, 20, 30 years at their job. They will die at their job. Like my mother, they pushed back her age of retirement like 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she got to stay there till she's like 65, 67 or something like that.
I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, originally it was supposed to be like 62 or something, and then 64, and then I think they pushed it back to 65.
Is that most people now, right now? Or just...
I think it's normally 55 to 65.
Yeah, I thought it was always 65.
Normally in that range. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that same concept it exists today. They got stipulations. Like when you sign that contract at your job, they got stipulations in there. Some of them are non-compete clauses, to where like if, like for example, like I slave at Home Depot. Or maybe I should have said that. Oh well.
It don't matter. I mean, there's so many Home Depots.
Yeah. Well,
it don't matter.
Like I know they didn't make me sign up like this, but there might be a non-compete clause where like if I'm working at Home Depot, if I quit or if I get fired or something like that, I can't go work for Lowe's or for Menards for like 3 years or something like that. You got NDAs. You got book clubs. You got some of these Sunday schools with NDAs too that you got to sign off.
Right.
Those non-disclosure agreements. You know, you got to sign one of those, and then they give you a purple T-shirt, and then I guess you're a priest and prophet. I don't know how that works. But you got some jobs that do NDAs also. You got certain jobs. You know, you couldn't. I mean, depending on whatever the stipulations are, whatever their requirements are. It's the same things that exist today. If you sign a contract with them for X amount of time, you know, you got to fulfill that contract with them. Especially like if you're an athlete or an entertainer, they need to lock you in for, you know, the better part of your lively years in order for them to reap the benefits off while you get nothing, man.
Right.
So the concept exists today, except the concept that exists today is not biblical. It is not lawful by God. It is a man-made construct, and it's got people freaked out because the minute that they hear any concept about slavery, their mind, that gut-wrenching sensation, their mind goes right back to what their forefathers did to us, what barbarians have been doing to mankind, you know, since that kind of institution was conceived. slavery and servitude are not the same thing.
Right.
They should not be misconstrued or confused with each other. So again, a lot of people they just don't know what the hell they're talking about. So it's fun messing with them. I pretty much cleared an entire room out this morning just because, how would I say? Again, they thought that they were dealing with Christians.
Right.
So they would try to throw certain phrases at me or insults at me or certain scriptures trying to stump me. And I would. So now this is one thing too that, especially if you're gonna be on Clubhouse too, you know, keep your precept book sharp, keep it on hand, keep it ready.
That's right.
That's one thing that I did not have available with me today. So I was still able to answer the questions, but I couldn't pull the precepts on hand that I wanted to that would have addressed them more clearly and concise. So definitely you want to make sure that your precept game is sharp and that your book is stacked up with the topics. So this one was mainly on. It started off. I was asking where they draw the moral compass from. We get our standard from the Bible,
right?
Which also frames our culture. These laws, statutes, commandments. That this is what our culture is built up around. So you know, it just came down to the well, basically, this is what I think is good. This is what I think is bad. So this is what I do. This is what I don't do, and just because that's how I feel about it. Mm-hmm. So one of the topics that we got into was child abuse. It's okay to discipline your child. There's a time and a place for everything, though. Some of the examples that were getting brought up were hella reaches, very extensive reaches, man. They were trying to stretch it as far as they could go. So we're going to get into these in a second. I just want to explain kind of the background for it. So one of them, they brought up Proverbs 13 and 24, spare the rod. So that one starts, where is it?
What's the precept?
It was a Proverbs 13 and 24 that they had started off with. So spare the rod.
Yeah, I got it.
About percent.
God, Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son.
So they were using this, for like whatever. Like if you got the one guy had brought up, like if you got a 9-year-old son or something like that and he cheats on his math test, you know, he can, according to the Bible, he can, you know, beat him with the rod. And I'm sitting there trying to tell him like that doesn't even necessarily mean that it's talking about an actual rod.
Right.
It's talking about disciplinary action.
Right.
That's what it's talking about. It could have been a rod. It could have been your open hand. It could have been a balled up pillow. It could have just been your words. It could have been you chastising, because if you read the rest of this.
But he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes.
That's what it's talking about. It's talking about disciplinary action, setting your kids straight. Now, if you start off your child cheating on his test would not warrant getting whooped with a rod or with a switch or something like that. So a lot of parents take things very out of proportion and exaggerate the issue, inflate the issue to a place that it ain't got to be. That wouldn't be justified for the crime that was committed, for the offense that was committed. So now they're arguing back on, who are you to say what's too far now? And I'm like, listen, in Israel we got rank and order. Right. There's going to be a man that will be able to discern the situation and let you know this is appropriate. This is going a little bit too far. So no, taking a chunk of rebar or your belt to your kid for cheating on at 9 years old too. At 9 years old, that's the example that he gave. Cheating on the test, that wouldn't more than ass whooping like that. If that same 9-year-old though decided to punk kick your 3-month-old kid that's still walking around in the little baby walker or something like that, yeah, maybe you got to put a hand on him for that one. That's a bit of a different story though. So they just They want to use the Bible to try to fit a narrative that they think that they have. Because if you start at verse 1, if you could.
Okay. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 1. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner hears not rebuke.
So, I mean, you raise up your child the way they're supposed to go. If that kid got any intelligence to them, they're going to listen to their father. They're going to listen to their mother too. They're going to take that authority from their parents, and they're going to walk, they're going to act accordingly with that. So that they never got to get their ass whooped. So you can spare the rod. So you ain't got to, go upside their head. That's what a wise son would do. That's what a wise daughter would do. Sometimes you do got scorners, though, that hear not rebuke.
Right.
So now, one of the other scriptures that we got into Deuteronomy chapter 21. Deuteronomy chapter 21, starting at verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that, when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them. So they took the route of trying to use their words. Everybody, so you don't want to be so politically correct about it, and you got to use your words, which I'm not in disagreement with. There's many times you'll get better results.
Right.
Just simply laying it out to them. Sometimes you got to talk to them a little rough though. Sometimes you gotta lay into them verbally. Some kids just don't get it. Some people, men, women, children, some people just don't hear it.
Right.
They don't understand it. They don't care about it. So when words don't work and somebody keeps on offending the law, whether it's the law that you lay down in your house, which for the culture of Israel wouldn't be any different. It wouldn't be in opposition of the Most High's laws. But if you've tried to reason with them, you try to wake them up, and they still ain't doing it. Listen, sometimes words just don't work. Sometimes words ain't enough.
Right.
It reminds me of when again another room, everybody was complaining about when General Muhammad had made a statement of calling your woman the B word. And I'm trying to explain to it because they're saying like in no situation ever is that ever appropriate or allowed. Never should a man ever call any woman the B word. The B word. First, it's just a word, man. And it definitely has an intention behind it.
Right.
Because some women, and I don't know if people know this about some women out there, but some women don't listen to, hey, listen, queen, I'm sorry, baby, it's, forgive me, everything's gonna be okay, and I understand how you feel, and maybe let's just talk about this. Some broads don't, they don't respect that.
Nah.
For whatever reason. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how that might backfire on you?
Right.
Damn simps. Some women don't respond to that. So now some women, you might have to cuss the hell out. You might have to check their life away. And General Muhammad was saying, make them, to the point where they think their first and their last name is the B word. Right. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna see if their middle name the B word. I want their maiden name to be the B word. Right. I want her to be so influenced by it. She's gonna name our daughter the B word. Taking a little bit too far, but you know what I'm trying to say. I mean, some women you gotta talk to like that. Some women you gotta be a little bit more. Just so some women, that's how you got it. That's what they're gonna hear before they correct it. Because in the situation that the general was talking about, that was between a brother and his woman. After he had checked that woman in public, then we're going to get into open rebuke also. After he had checked that sister in public, in the sight of the brothers, in the sight of those police officers, in the sight of the Most High, that woman respected him. And that woman changed up her ways. And she became a pillar in this truth. You know what I'm saying? She became a solid sister in this truth. We ain't afraid of our women over here. Right. We don't have that problem. 99 problems, but that ain't gonna be one of them.
That's right.
And you know what I'm saying? And again, the general was very, very clear on it. He's talking about that type of woman that got to get talked to that kind of way because everything else that's coming out of her mouth is heinous against you.
Right.
But you just sitting there, queen, my queen, just sluggy you. Let's just talk, my queen. Kissing ass. And again, it doesn't strike you as possible that's just gonna ruin a relationship, that's gonna emasculate you, and then that's gonna let her keep that manly spirit. That's what you're trying to get off her, man.
Right.
So I mean, these are some of the truths about the Bible that people just they don't hear, they don't understand. The truth is not in them. And someone like you can let them know that they don't know what the hell they're talking about and just move on from there. And that, like, bit by bit. I mean, we I think at one point we had maybe 24 people like in the room. There's about a dozen of us on stage. Just bit by bit, I had them all just falling off. Everybody just banging and shit. Plus, it was like 4 or 5 o'clock. No, like 6. Yeah, like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning too while we were going through this. So I'm just getting off third shift, so I'm kind of ready to go. But there's a lot of things that people didn't want to hear, didn't want to try to accept from this truth, and that's why you got to keep it so tight. And that's why you can't waver on these points. And that's one thing that you're gonna learn with Brotherhood too. It's it comes with it comes with love. It comes with security. It comes with protection. It comes with correction too. And it comes with guidance. So a lot of things that you thought that you may have known about the Bible, get ready to just dump all that in the garbage and rebuild your constitution, because it's not what people think it is.
That's right.
God don't love everybody, man.
Right.
Nowhere in the Bible does it teach us to hold hands with everybody and then sing kumbaya. It's not that kind of party. Not even a little bit. This is only written to, for, and about Israel, and that's where it's gonna stay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody else, they got their own culture, they got their own customs, they got their own Declaration of Independences and constitutions and things like that. Let them have it. Let them have all that. We got one too, and you are not allowed to share this. You are not allowed to give this away.
That's right.
This is not an open invitation. This is not an open bar, kind of book. You know what I'm saying? You don't give it away for free. You don't give it to people that don't belong to. You use this to make your nation's lives better. You use this to teach them who they are, teach them what they're supposed to stand on, and how to fix and correct themselves. And you use this to give you that righteous authority over the nations.
Right.
Everybody's gonna come. Everybody's gonna have to serve this word. Everybody's gonna have to serve this word, and the Bible does say that Israel is gonna be used to rule over the people. So we'll keep this moving. So now we're talking about this rebellion, stubborn ass kid, right? Now this is not that same 9-year-old that cheated on his math test that you're about to bring out. That we're about to read about. Verse 19. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out into the elders of the city and unto the gates of his place. Verse 20. So like they're gonna bring you into like Times Square. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows everybody, damn near type shit. They're gonna bring you in public. They're gonna bring you before the elders of the community. Verse 20. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. So he just a lazy, no good. He's that 43-year-old, grown ass man still playing video games in mama's basement. He's that dude. Just nasty, sloppy, eating up all the food, not contributing to the household, drinking his life away, probably smoking and whatever kind of drugs. Bringing all kind of shame to your house. Verse 21. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. Now that seems a little extreme, don't it? But again,
Right.
this ain't talking about that 9-year-old that got the cheating on the sex. This is talking about a grown-up. This is talking about an individual who would know better, who just chose not to listen. So now they would rightfully get put to death. You're not gonna have that in your house. As for me in my house, we ain't gonna have that in our house. If my child decides to be homosexual, you are getting kicked the hell out the crib, man. The Lord's gonna deal with you.
That's right.
The Lord's gonna deal with you. And if that edict comes down, I mean, listen, Lord be with you, because we ain't gonna be. You just seen what they doing to this boy. So I know now again, I know that seems rough, but this is, especially in the old days, things like this needed to happen to, again, in front of all the people too, and all Israel shall hear and fear. This is to deter somebody else from making the same mistake. Getting stoned to death, again, we talk about this a lot. Getting stoned to death, that's got to be a horrible way to go. That's got to suck.
Oh yeah.
That's got to suck. I mean, that could take a while. You just waiting for that cinder block to come crashing at your head, but you getting. Well, I don't want to take that up, but you're getting, small, rocks that fit in the palm of your hand getting chucked at your grill all day. Packing on lunch, people packing on lunch and making a day of it. It's to deter anybody else from having to go through this. And now what Christ had given us, what Yahweh had given us, was not only the spirit of the law, but compassion and mercy. This was that letter of the law that was very, how would I say, visually, very visual, very physical. The spirit of the law is still very, very physical and very visual, because you're exercising the law. You're exercising the tenets that are in the Bible, so that you ain't got to be somebody that got to get stoned to death.
Right.
That was the whole point of having those punishments, of having to make sacrifices. When you made a sacrifice, it wasn't like if you had to go go to first yearlings of your flock and things like that. You're not allowed to pick out like the one that's about to die, like the old ass one that's about to die already. So it doesn't matter if you kill them, or the youngest one that maybe got a bum leg or something like that. It's not gonna make it through the night. It's supposed to be something that you would have profited off of, something that would have made you money, something that would have increased your flock. That's what you would have been sacrificing, because now you got to take an L because you committed an offense against the Most High.
Right.
It was supposed to teach you a lesson so that you don't do it. But you just had people just lining up turtle doves and sheep and bull and cattle and things like that just to sacrifice, so that they could keep on sinning. So that they got the sacrifice ready. All you got to do now is kill this bull, and now you good to go. You scot-free. No. And it's not that the Lord had demanded a blood sacrifice on anything. Again, it was the point of it for you to have to give something up now. There is a debt that will get paid for, though. So if you, how do I say it? Because if the Lord ends up killing you for that's your blood that gets spilled to redeem that crime, that sin.
Right.
That doesn't mean that me and Maccabi are gonna, snatch you up and we're gonna clear off the table and we're gonna grab this sacred knife and we're gonna, slit your throat and let your blood splash all over the tabernacle. That's not how it works.
Right.
It's just the Lord let you get hit by a bus. You know what I'm saying? Let you he'll catch you with a stroke. And he called Ezekiel's wife, and that was to punish Ezekiel, not to punish that sister.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to be very careful and very mindful about what you do. Listen to your fathers, listen to your mothers, man. And if you're still breathing, you still got a chance. You know what I'm saying, to make things right. We're gonna get into those two. So again, that was the whole point of having punishments in offenses, two offenses like these, to get rid of that evil, so that wouldn't spill over, so that demon, that influence wouldn't spill over on somebody else. And now left and right, you're just stoning your kids, in the entire village, and now you ain't got nobody to play with. You know what I'm saying? It was to avoid all that. It was to avoid you having to die.
Yeah.
You know, keep the laws. Keep the laws. So I'd like to go back up to John chapter 8. John chapter 8 when it started. I wanted to go over damn near the whole chapter because there's a lot of wisdom in this. A lot of people might be familiar with the story of the way it starts out, like when he goes up to the well, or no, not to the well, just pull it. If you start at verse 1, just to kind of give the intro. This is when he went to the Mount of Olives, my fault. Verse 1.
Nah, I gotta.
Bible show.
What is it, John 8 or what?
Yeah, kind of John chapter 8, just like the first couple verses, just so that they can 1 through 3. Bible show. Yeah, I got you. So, and then we're gonna skip down to 13.
All right. John chapter 8, verse 1. Yahushua went unto the Mount of Olives. Verse 2. And early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them.
A lot of people don't like Christ. They don't like Jesus. They say that he's subverting the authority of the Most High, so that people are worshiping him. Again, that's the Christian concept. That's not in the Bible. That's not biblical. That's not what's going on here.
Right.
But keep going.
Verse 3. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery, in the very act.
So again, just to speed people up with the story, this is the incident where the Pharisees and the scribes had gathered a woman that was allegedly caught in the middle of adultery. They didn't bring her paramour with, the man that she had committed adultery with, but they just brought her, and they wanted to put her to death. And Yahushua had said, he would cast the first. He was without sin, cast the first stone. Nobody could, because they all would have been hypocrites. Right. And Yahushua let her go. Now he didn't even say don't stone her. He just said, he was without sin, cast the first stone. So he was still keeping the law also. He wasn't taking that off the table. He was just perfecting it, trying to teach people a lesson. And that taught them a lesson, because they dropped them stones and walked off. Because they were not keeping up with the law either. Because there would have been something a skeleton in their closet that they would have had to get stoned over too. And they knew that. So they kind of had to bite their tongues and move on. So Yahushua said, listen, just, go on. I ain't going to punish you either. Just sin no more.
That's right.
You gave her another chance. That's something that a lot of people, it's almost like people don't want to see improvement in the nation.
Right.
They just want to be able to go kill somebody. That like really, I think that's all that's on their heart. They just want to go kill somebody. That's it. Lawfully, legally, you know what I'm saying? That they can feel justified in their own actions, because they got fringes on their socks. It's not enough. It don't work that way.
It's a lot.
Come.
Yeah, it's really it's such a heavy demon too.
Yeah.
Like I don't think even they realize that.
Nah.
I mean, they so. But yeah, there are people who love to see other people in pain in some type of way, and I just find that very very evil. What's that term? Psychopath or sociopath?
Man, both of them would fit.
Yeah, like when a person enjoys to either inflict pain or loves to see somebody in pain.
Oh damn.
A nutcase. I'll just simple it down. Someone who's very evil. You know what I mean? Like if you really had some type of compassion and love for your people, you will want the better for them, the betterment of them, versus them seeing them weak and hurt. You know what I mean? Things of that sort. That's why a lot of people always talk about how great they pastors are and stuff like that. And I always ask people, well, when you needed help with your bills and you needed help with this and that and the third, did your pastor help you?
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, if you don't mind, can you explain how your pastor helped you? And it's not intimate help. When I say intimate help, meaning like they are actually paying your bills. They're, oh, I'll pray for you.
Right.
Oh, the money, the lights gotta stay on and this, that, and the third. How is it that you have full house? Like you got a full house in this church of a congregation. You telling me you don't have extra money on the side to pay for a brother and sister's bills? I mean, what a lot of people don't know is tithes is what helps the nation of Israel.
Yep.
Tithes is not just for pocket change for the pastors,
right,
or the prophets or the priests. If you know anything about the Bible, you know that the Most High looks out for the poor. Meanwhile, the rich does not look out for the poor.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it gives you that real spirit, though. But now, us in the ISBK, we are not billionaires or millionaires, right? Mm-hmm. We are not rich, but once we come together, we all have it.
Yeah.
We are rich.
That's right.
And we are not just rich and let me see, how can I say it? We are not just rich in the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood. We are rich as well, just with the simple fact of what the Most High taught us.
That's right.
It's a lot. I mean, it's so much I can say about it, but
right,
when we come together as a people in the right spirit, that's what makes us rich. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about spiritually. Like everybody else that does not keep the law properly are spiritually dead.
That's right.
They are very much dead. And if you knew the Bible so much, you will really analyze this and not miss a beat. You know what I mean? The Bible talks about the poor all the time, but meanwhile you go to your pastor, you can't get nothing out of them.
No.
But a prayer. What is a prayer gonna do without the action? Without like come on now, like, yeah, you can pray for somebody, right? You can pray for somebody, but at the same time, as a pastor and a priest and all that, you have a job. You are supposed to help the people. All right? Meanwhile, you want to steal from them. It doesn't make sense, man. Once again, a Christian church is the house of Savior.
That's right.
Yes, prayer does work, but at the same time, you got to understand the position of what those pastors are here for. They're not just here to just give you the word. Anybody can give you the word. Anybody can recite scriptures to you. But everybody plays a part. All right? If you are a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you are the chosen people of the Most High. Everybody has a job. Everybody has a script. Everybody has something to do within the nation of Israel. Okay? And if you think otherwise, you just a goddamn fool. You are a greedy, blind bastard. And the Most High is going to deal with you.
That's right.
And do not be shocked or astonished when something out of the ordinary just happens to you in your life. All right? Because look at what you have done. You have not done the true works of the Most High. That's why you're in the situation that you're in. And so that's it. My bad.
That's every point, because you might have to, for that pastor to consider, you might have to sow that $1,000 seed first.
Yeah.
And then then somebody that's gonna turn $10,000, and all your financial troubles gonna be over.
Yeah.
So you gotta sow that seed.
Yeah. And you know what? I know brothers in the UPK who had real money,
mm-hmm.
who had real money in their hand.
Yeah.
They were living a life where they were just flourishing with money.
Yeah. And
they left that lifestyle to come into the UPK. Now, to the average Jake in the world, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds crazy to be like, so this man or this woman gave up all this money just to be in the UPK. To do what? To pretty much scream on the street corner and say that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of? You absolutely right. They sure did. And because of it, life is better. Like, money is not our issue. All right? Money is not the issue. It's far more beyond that. Okay? Like money is a small fraction of what our issue is. We have to stop drug addiction.
Right.
We have to stop child molestation. We have to stop rape and robbing each other. Like to this day in 2022, people are still brothers and sisters are losing their lives because they want to have unlawful sex. Unlawful sex, man. Like what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you as a man, or you call yourself a man, as a male, why do you want to go after what somebody else has? That is very effeminate, very very zesty, very sus. It's just disgusting. I mean, look, it's not a coincidence that women, what is it? It's more women than there is men on the earth. So you have other women that are available that no one has. So why don't you get a woman that's not attached to another man?
Right.
It's not hard. Meanwhile, like I was listening to an interview with Nick Cannon, and he said something that was just very disgusting to me. And I was like, good night. I'm like, this is why brothers do what they do in the world. So he was talking about how someone had asked him, like, so do you are you the type of guy that deals with a woman who has a man, or are you the type of guy who deals with a woman who don't have a man? And he said he's all about being a side piece. He loves it. And I'm just like, that is so gay.
That's weird.
That is weird as hell. Like, why would you want to put your ride inside this woman who's been dealt with and had all manner of filthiness done to her? That is disgusting, man. Like that. Like a lot of people should really check their masculinity, and you sisters got to check yourself as so-called being feminine. You sisters out there, man, y'all choose the wrong type of men sometimes. Like y'all expect something. Y'all expect the Prince Charming out of a brother who is going to destroy your life. He's gonna burn you. He's going to abandon you with all those kids. Like choose wisely. He's gonna rob you of everything. Y'all gonna end up in jail or dead somewhere. Like, it's just, come on, man. You gotta choose wisely. In order to choose wise and make wise decisions, you have to come into the UPK.
That's right.
You've been in the church for 30 years and haven't learned anything about life.
No.
What you learn is how to die. You learn how to make bad decisions that can lead you in terrible situations until you're dead. Like, come on, man. And because of the Christian church, our children end up getting hurt. You get hurt. The men get hurt. All right? And you wonder why your life is upside down. Nothing's going right. You're trying to move here and there. You're trying to get your life together, but nothing is changing because you have not changed. A person who truly wants to change, they will find a way to change. But if you just, not keeping it 100 with yourself, you're always going to be in the same predicament throughout your whole life.
Right.
So like I said too much. My bad.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, it's a lot. Look, I'm ready to see, goddamn it.
I see it.
Yeah, I'll be ready to see tomorrow. It's a lot.
You want to switch up?
Tomorrow, man. Yeah, God. But no, it's like that was it though. Y'all should get the damn point.
Yeah, kind of.
I pray you do. Sure. I pray you do.
That's every point. Like Adam was saying, I mean, money is the issue. That tithes money isn't going to solve those issues, but your corn sure as hell isn't going to do it either.
Yeah.
But at least with that tithes money, we get things done. When we have to hold down an event or something like that, that tithe money get things done.
Yeah.
When brothers and sisters need help getting some bills paid, maybe they accrued a bunch of fines. And of course, nobody that's in the truth, would have been from a lifetime ago. But somebody that may have accrued a lot of fines in their time in the world, they might need some help. And tithes can help pay with things like that.
Right.
It's not going to fix your marriage. It's not going to, necessarily get somebody off drugs, but it can help provide, possible funding for a treatment center.
Yeah.
Things like that. Your corn ain't going to do that. You're going to send in all that corn with, like, you know what I'm saying? What? do they gonna get off of crack by going on like a corn detox?
Yeah.
It don't work that way.
Right.
No. You're gonna end up selling that corn anyway to make a profit so you can get him into a treatment center.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be money at the end of the day.
Right.
What was the other point that you had brought up? So again, y'all don't know the Bible. If you ain't been here, you should just leave it alone. If you're gonna come through these doors and take that oath and get that oath poured on your head just to leave and keep the name and everything else, it'd be better that you weren't born.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's the scripture say? You know, it's better that that you didn't even know, that you didn't know nothing about the UPK, because you're about to take that, run with it, keep it to yourself, boast about yourself, act like you did something that 100 other different bastards and cowards didn't already do before you.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, you ain't special. You ain't special. So where are we, John? All right, let's keep going. So let's talk about Yahweh. That sister gave her a second chance, man. And that's something that we need, but sadist. That's that word. You know, an individual that likes causing harm to people or humiliating somebody. That's a sadist. There's a damn demon on you, man. And a lot of them, especially the Old Testament Israelites, they just want to kill somebody, man. That's really, at the end of the day, that's all they want to do. And they also know that they need to get put to death also.
Right.
So that's why they just rather just kill everybody off first, and so that they can be the man. Ain't nobody worshiping Christ like they're worshiping the Most High, but they give him the respect that he is owed, the respect that he deserves. That's justified by the Lord, and that's how would I say it? Respected by his claim to the throne too.
Right.
I'm saying that it's King David, boy. He because he's in that bloodline, he's got a right to be in that kingly position, in that seat of power.
Yeah.
To make these tough calls that y'all niggas ain't gonna.
Right.
Because it could have been commanding, and you know that's the other part too. Everybody wants to start by commanding Jimmy Honda too. Like, y'all niggas worship him. Y'all worship. Y'all hate him so much you worship that man.
So, like, if I may slide, that's really a great point. Like, what they don't understand is that they worship him in ignorance.
Right.
Like also says in the Bible how Israel worships the dragon in ignorance.
There you go.
Meaning, for example, a lot of people are like, yeah, I serve this guy, I serve that guy. You serve your oppressor. That's who you serve. Everything that you say that you serve, it goes back to your oppressor, because that's the creation of the oppressor. So in a nutshell, you serve him.
And you're only doing that to serve your own self-interest.
Yes.
You're not doing it because you actually believe in Santa Claus.
Right.
But you're doing it because you can get something out of it. So I mean, like, this ain't something that should be toyed around with, man. You know, people's lives are on the line. That's something else that I don't think a lot of people really get or understand when we're dealing with this. We're trying to get this back to the people that it belongs to. That this isn't a game, man. This isn't the chess or checkers. You know,
right.
No matter how you might want to look at it. Whatever metaphor you might try to apply.
Right.
Because I'll say things like, you know, get your head out the gutter and get your head in the game.
Right.
I'm not saying that this is a game, but that is a metaphor that you can use also too for. But it's not like it's not taken with that grain of levity,
right,
that they try to slap it on with. But yeah, that sister another shot. So to go sin no more. And if you could jump down to 13.
Okay. Verse 13. It's like John chapter 8, verse 13. The Pharisees therefore said unto him, Thou bearest record of thyself. Thy record is not true.
Now, this is the same thing the Old Testament Israelite cats say. This is literally the same thing. They're saying he's a liar, he changed the scripture, this, that, and the third. They're saying the same thing that the Pharisees and Sadducees said way before them. So again, you're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything revolutionary. You ain't the first one to try to say that that our king was a liar, that our king was a fraud.
Right.
He never put himself up above the Most High. He was one with the Most High, like in the spirit, in his actions. You know, he kept the laws. He followed the statutes, commandments. He exercised them. And again, he gave the spirit of the law so that we ain't got to continue killing ourselves or getting killed for our transgressions. He was trying to give your dumb asses another role.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was trying to help you out.
Right.
He was literally trying to help you out, and you want to try to throw him under the bus.
Sure.
Like, y'all the reason why he got murdered, man.
Right.
Y'all passed him up. Y'all served him up on the plaque for $30. I know it wasn't $30, but you know what I'm saying? For a couple dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, and talk about inflation. I mean, the cost of living went up. That $30 ain't gonna get you nowhere. I think in today's times that would have been like the equivalent of like $3,000 or something like that from 30 seconds of silver that dude got.
Well, it was 30 shekels, right?
Yeah.
I forget. I used to know what it was.
30 silver pieces, something like that. I think they said it was like around $2,000-3,000 or something like that. You ain't gonna live off of $2,000-3,000 today. You weren't gonna live off of 30 shekels back then.
Right.
But you just, something for you to sell out to. Something for you to sell out with. But he ain't never tried to subvert the authority of the Most High. He always kept it real. And he was doing this for his people because he actually genuinely cared about his people. Now again, these are some of the other tough truths about the Bible that people don't like to admit is in here. And at large, because they lack the spirit of brotherhood. They lack the zeal of the Most High. They lack that brotherhood that keeps a nation. Something that's been so self-destructive too. And tampered with and exposed and exploited by all these other nations. One of the greatest tools that we can use to keep us together is brotherhood and sisterhood. And people would rather, gamble with that. They'd rather throw that away again for their own self-interest.
Right.
Because y'all never would have said none of this shit to Moses. You never would have questioned David. You never would have questioned Solomon, Joshua, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, none of them brothers. You wouldn't have said nothing to them. But you got something to say about your house. You got something to say about Commanding General Khan. If it was Commanding General No Name, you'd have nothing to say. If it was Commanding General, it's like if it was Commanding General, you insert your name in there, you wouldn't be saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be saying, "Give me your tithe money too."
Right.
It's it's not you, and I'm sorry for you. If you wanted it that badly, I mean, you should put in some work.
Right.
Outside of social media, mind you. Now we are raining hell left and right on these different platforms. Facebook. I mean, we've been giving Facebook hell for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, that new joint MeWe, said TikTok, Clubhouse. I mean, we just been just slapping them up left and right. It's like real quick.
It says right here, the silver in these 30 coins would be worth $264.60 today.
Bro, we could go broke over dinner with that.
I mean, that's a car payment.
That's it. That ain't gonna get you rent, nothing. That might pay off your overdue library fees.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Again, you can pay off maybe a couple tickets with that. Maybe a couple parking tickets or something. But
and it's like one with that. The sister says, Sister Marakapa said, once we in here, we have each other to be able to count on, regardless of what we're going through.
It's just different, man.
That's right.
It's different, and it's not something that they take for granted. Like the real ones, the ones that are in here for the right reasons, the ones that are in here for the long haul.
Right.
It's not something that we don't. This isn't a rumor You know, this isn't just living in the moment. It requires something of you that most people just ain't willing to give up. And so like, what was I saying with that other point though? No, it's like after we get done ripping everybody's heads off and hurting everybody's feelings on social media, we go back into the streets.
Right.
We go back into them corners. We got these classes. We got classes in real life. You know what I'm saying? People can come through these doors and sit right here with us. During the when we were opening the Feast of Dedications, you know, one of the brothers that was here with us had some questions. You know, got the lesson, got the class right then and there.
Right.
You know, we hold charitable events for our people. It's, you know, it's not just what we do. You know, with the scholarship, with the lectures, with all the class videos, like everything. It's a whole thing.
Right.
It's a whole thing. It's more than that. And even though we haven't met each and every brother and sister that's in the school, like, you know, we know everybody pretty well across.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we kick it with the brothers in our cities. You know, the Midwest is pretty close knit. Down south, I mean, Texas, forget about it. East Coast, West Coast, you know, each zone is tight. And you know, when we come together on like for again April 1st Passover, you know, when everybody comes together, it's, you know, you get to see it. You get to see it work in real life, in real time. That brotherhood, that sister that we keep on talking about, that we just keep on rambling on about brotherhood and sisterhood. You know how boring of a topic can that be? It's what saves lives out here, though.
That's right.
So stop being a sadist. Stop hating on our brothers that you don't know nothing about. I don't care if you had, you know, if you was wearing all black back in the 90s or something like that. And you got all these stories, you know, from either firsthand eyewitness accounts or from brothers that, you know, were there long before high priests and things like that, and then left the truth.
Right.
None of that matters. The UPK One West is still standing.
That's
that
right.
Same integrity. There ain't nothing changed.
That's right.
So keep going with John, please.
John.
Yeah. So.
Verse 14.
Yeah.
Verse 14. Yahushua answered and said unto them, though I bear record of myself, yet my record is true.
Again, this is just, and we know you don't like it. You're just gonna have to deal with it, even though he's showing and living because again, the record that we're talking about, he was prophesied of in the Old Testament. So I mean, these are the records that bear witness to him, and he's, you know, letting the people know. And other people had, which I believe even John the Baptist had mentioned about his the knowledge that he had about Christ's forthcoming.
Right.
So I mean, it's not exactly like it was a big damn mystery or secret necessarily, but just, you know, some people they didn't want us to have to submit to that authority. It's like, you good?
Come. For I know whence I came and whither I go, but ye cannot tell whence I come and whither I go.
You know what I'm saying? He was the teacher. All these people kept on coming up to him left and right, asking him questions. He didn't go to nobody else.
Right.
He didn't try to get somebody else's breakdown on the scripture or what this means from the Most High. Everybody was going to him.
Right.
Verse 15.
Verse 15. Ye judge after the flesh, I judge no man.
So now again, that's that sadist mentality. They judging after the flesh. They just want to put somebody to death so that they can be feared, that they can be respected, they can wear their gay arrangements or arraignments, and that they can get them high seats in the temples and things like that. But again, I was just saying, I judge no man. Like he ain't trying to put nobody to death.
Right.
He ain't trying to see nobody get killed, man. The Lord does not. It's like I'm paraphrasing, but the Lord does not take joy you know, in our wickedness.
Right.
You know, he'd rather see you turn your life around.
Right. Ezekiel.
Go. He'd rather see you turn your life around. That's what Yahushua was. That's the message he was trying to spread. Again, he was doing this for you, for the people that hated the hell out of him. He was doing this for y'all. Verse 19.
Verse 19. No, actually,
No, sorry, I'm jumping down.
Oh, okay. So verse 19.
Okay.
Verse 19. Then said they unto him, Where is thy father? Yahushua answered, Yea, neither know me. So like, ye neither know me, nor my father. If ye had known me, ye should have known my father also.
Now,
Check it out.
yeah, checking the shit out of him. So now this is in the Gospel of John. So I mean, there are kind of different versions of this, but this is you know, one of the main scriptures that people go to when they say, you know, when it talks about like, you know, I'm the truth, the way, and the light. You know, you cannot come to the Father unless you come through me.
Right.
Again, the point of it was for you to live. These men are judging you in the flesh. They would rather put you to death right away. Right. They would rather have you just know the written law versus what the Most High's intention was for.
Right.
For having these laws. Yeah, I would rather have you know the spirit of the law to keep them, to make that burden easier on you too, so that you can live. That's why he's saying this. Not because he's trying to subvert authority or usurp authority from the Most High, but he's just saying, like, listen, I'm on one accord with the Most High. If you do, because again, he's physically on earth, so he's at this time we didn't have leadership in Israel. We didn't have a leader. You had your so-called priests and things like that, the Sadducees and Pharisees, who took like the policemanship, the temple services and things like that to govern Israel. But they were still subjected unto the Romans and to the Greeks.
Yeah.
Yahushua was, when he came on the scene, all that was supposed to change. That was going to be our rightful leader of Israel. Keep slack here. And if you could jump down to 32.
Okay. Verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So again, it's not enough just to keep the laws. The truth of the matter. Where that light go? The truth is, Christ was trying to teach you something. He's trying to teach you how to live by the law, so you don't have to die by the law.
Right.
That's the truth of the matter. And if you can get that through your head, man, you'll be a lot more successful in life. Because if you go to verse 31.
Mm-hmm. Verse 31. Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him.
So the ones that did believe him, the ones that did trust him, the ones that did listen to him, God.
If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed.
So I mean, you're gonna. Where was it to? And it's like go to 33 and then continue to read from there too.
John. Verse 33. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed.
So now again, they looking at it carnally. Good.
Mm-hmm. And were never in bondage to any man.
I don't listen. How many times you heard? I don't listen to no man.
Right.
I don't listen to no man. You just claim fealty to Abraham. You just gave Abraham the authority over you.
Right.
I mean that you were his seed. Because again, you wouldn't have said none of this to him.
How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? So
again, the same argument that Old Testament Israelites, like these Sadducees and Pharisees, are essentially Old Testament Israelites too.
Right.
It's the same. It's literally the same arguments that they had against him back then that they have against him right now.
Right.
Right now, thousands of years later, they still can't leave that brother alone. Keep going.
Time. Verse 34. Yahushua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committed sin is the servant of sin.
That's why they couldn't cast that stone. They couldn't cast that stone against that woman because they were also guilty of committing sin.
Right.
So now they were still bound by that law. They knew that they couldn't. They knew that they would not. They don't have the authority. They would not be justified to put that woman to death because of their own transgressions. They had become servants to that sin, to their own sin.
Right.
Skip down to 37.
37. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me.
So again, these people trying to claim, this righteous, this righteous lineage,
right?
And again, thinking that not eating pork is enough. When they trying to get this man killed, they was trying to get that sister killed.
Right.
Now they're trying to get this brother killed.
Right.
They're trying to get our king murdered. So it don't matter if they were the seed of Abraham. We all know that you're the seed of Abraham. That you a Levite. That you come from the lineage of Moses and Aaron. We all know that you're wearing purple. We get it. You're real cool. You're Abraham's. You're Abraham's seed. You got a heritage to the promise, to the covenant. Is that in the third? But you seek to kill me.
Right.
He's Abraham's seed too. That's a brother. You know what I'm saying? The Sadducees and Pharisees were trying to kill a brother. Again, that's why he was saying, like, y'all judge in the flesh. I judge no man. They sadists. They just trying to get somebody killed so that their authority isn't questioned.
Right.
So they look like they're in control of everything when they did not have the control over the people like that. They did not have control over the nation. Nothing. They still had to do what Rome told them to do. That's why when they pulled out that money, and they were like, Yahushua pulled out that coin, like, whose face is this on? Render unto Caesar that belongs to Caesar.
Right.
Caesar. Render unto the Most High what belongs to the Most High. These brothers belong to Caesar. And then where is it?
It's 37.
Something else. I mean, keep going, but there's something else I was looking for you too.
God. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you.
Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like that. Verse 43.
Why do ye not understand my speech?
It's not that hard, man. It's like he's not saying nothing that I mean, the parables and things that he would still break down the parables for you too. But I'm saying his message wasn't that difficult. It was very straightforward. It was very just shooting right down the middle. People still didn't understand it. Again, they're arguing about the same things today. Why do we got to go through Christ? God didn't, God never required a human sacrifice. How can he, die for everybody's sins? How can we be saved through him? Blah, 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 blah. You had to go through Moses to get to the Most High before.
Right.
You had to go through the other priests and prophets to deal with the Most High before. And then our kingdom got split. Our kingdom broke down. And we didn't have anybody to mediate between us and the Most High.
Right.
Until Yahushua came to clean this all up. That's how we get back in touch with the Most High.
That's right.
So he's not wrong for saying, through me is how you get to the Most High, because the Sadducees and Pharisees weren't getting that job done. They were extorting the temple. They were using it to collect taxes and do trade and buying and selling things like that in the temple, instead of holding class and honoring the high holy days the way that they should have been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everybody went to the Passover, and again, because they were wearing purple and they probably got the biggest damn fringes you had ever seen in your life.
Right.
And they get to sit at the top of the hill at the head of the tables and things like that. But they're not there to minister to the people. That was their job. That's what they were supposed to have been doing.
That's right.
And then the scribes, or it's like the Sadducees, to protect the people.
Right.
Like the Pharisees were the priests, the Sadducees were like the police municipality. They were supposed to be protecting the people. All they were like glorified. I mean, top flight security. It didn't mean nothing unless they had Rome's authority to act.
Right.
That's why they were able to get away with all this. If they'd have done that to a Roman citizen, it would have been a whole different story.
But
right. Because it's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians on the line, who cares, right? Nobody cares. So I can keep going.
Why do ye not understand my speech, even because ye cannot hear my word?
He who has an ear, let him hear, man. Like and that's what you're talking about. You got any understanding, man. Listen and listen good. These guys did not have any understanding. As learned as they were, as high and mighty and holy rolling as they had perceived to be, they had no understanding in their minds. Go ahead.
Keep going. Okay. Verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do.
That's the understanding that they had. Because again, they were more akin to the Romans' way of life than the Israelite way of life.
Right.
Keep going.
Time. He was a murderer from the beginning.
Murderer from the beginning. Who we talking about here, Ken? We talking about the spirit of Esau. Keep going.
And abide not in the truth, because there is no truth in him.
And again, like people, they'll throw fanciful words like this around to try to make them seem like they know what they're talking about. Like when they talk about edifying the people and exegeting the scriptures and eisegeting the scriptures, like, dude, shut up.
Right.
Shut up.
Right.
It's okay if you got a vocabulary. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying you can't use big fancy words, but don't sit there and act like you're doing something.
Right.
Again, there's a million other idiots out there who try doing the same thing. You're not special. You're not cool. You're not an innovator. You're never gonna stump Christ.
Right.
You're never gonna stump Christ. You're never gonna stump the UPK.
Right.
This is who we learn from. We learn from the master right here. We learn from the teacher. That's where we get all this from. That's where you get the confidence of the UPK too. Call it arrogance if you want. I don't care either. Again, like the words that they were throwing at me this morning, like everything that they were trying to say to like ruffle my feathers and things like that, backfired horribly. I laughed that off and I slapped them back with something.
Yeah.
I didn't have to get as vulgar as they were getting. I just shot back at them. And again, it's something that they don't expect because we're supposed to be men of God.
Right.
We can't use certain words. We can't use certain tones. You can't say certain things like that. Nigga, what?
Right.
Like, what? People got put to death back in the day, man. Like, you better watch who you're speaking to. We ain't no Christians out here, man.
That's right.
You're still dealing with them same roughneck brothers from the streets. Just, we know who we are.
Right.
And this amplifies. This amplifies that Israelite in us.
That's right.
So I mean, yeah, we're gonna clap back.
That's right.
We're gonna clap back, and I was having a great time.
Right.
And like they would say these atheists, like, oh, I don't believe it, I don't believe that, I don't buy that, I don't accept that. I'm like, dude, this is not it's not resting on whether you accept it or not.
Right.
This is just the way it is. You can accept it or you can't. Like there's that one button up in the corner that says leave quietly. You know what I'm saying? You can press that. I'm not gonna care.
Yeah.
And the second time when I came back in the room, because I had to leave the first time because my phone was about to die. I found a spot to charge it while I was waiting for the bus. So I jumped back into the room. I didn't try to, I was, because of the way Clubhouse works, if you were on stage before, it'll let you back up on stage automatically if you leave the room and come back in a little bit later. So I was back up on stage, but I wasn't even trying to chime in anymore at this point. People were asking me the questions after I made my initial claim as to the validity of the Most High, and asked them, where their moral compass lies. That's what kicked off all this conversation. I left for a bit, came back. They were still talking about the back and forth and tripping themselves up, having like redundant conversations and kind of revisiting and repeating like the same mundane points that they were trying to make before. And they started asking me questions, so I was just simply answering the questions and engaging in the conversation, and they didn't know what the hell to do with that. That's often the response that we get when we're dealing with a lot of people. They don't like what we say. They either might try to kick us up out the room, or they'll try to like over talk you or try to fluster you, try to get you out your character. And then when that doesn't work, I mean, they ain't got no choice but to retreat. But this is the spirit of these people, man. They are of their father, the devil, and the truth is not in them.
That's right.
You know, they'll say that all day long about you, but then all they'd have to do is prove it. That's the other point that that nobody likes to have to deal with. Like you can say all that. I mean, you can say those words, but now you got to prove it. Now you actually got to do something about it. Mm-hmm. You can't just say it and expect it just to get left at that. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta prove your mettle here. So we can drop that. If we can get to 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. Yeah, they didn't like a couple things in Corinthians. I think they tried to bring up too. Okay, I didn't have anything to write it down with, but lame points.
You always got your notes in your phone. That's what my priest said that.
Lame points nonetheless.
Yeah.
They're not good at this. If you could.
Yeah, God, I got you. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ.
There's simplicity in Christ, man. And a lot of these people, though, without, you know, Yahushua try to take that schoolmaster off the table, so that you ain't constantly gotta have somebody kind of watching over your shoulder, making sure you're doing all your homework and you're dotting all your I's and you're crossing all your T's, and holding yourself accountable and being a responsible party in this nation.
Right.
Some of these brothers did not fare too well without that supervision.
Right.
And they had forgotten these important lessons that Yahushua had taught brothers like Paul when he had established these schools out here in Corinth and in Ephesians and Galatia and, you know, all over the place. They had forgotten these tenets, these principles. Keep going.
Verse 4. For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him.
So again, you're gonna end up, General Muhammad always says, you know, don't forget what you know, trying to learn something.
Right.
These brothers forgot what they knew, and they were able to get beguiled. That's why he had, brought it back to the serpent beguiling Eve.
That's right.
And they accepted a new doctrine. They accepted a different doctrine. Keep going.
Come. Verse 5. For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostles.
Now at this time when he was writing these letters again, he was locked up. But just for clarification, let's look up what "whit" means. I believe that's short for like witness. Whit. Whist. There we go. Wit. Oh no, I was off. All right, so an alternative of white creature thing, more at white WIGHT. Look that up too. They don't even have that in here. No, there it is. There it is.
You got it?
Yep. All right. A living being, creature, especially human being. Scandinavian origin akin to skilled in fighting. No, that doesn't look like it's what's being applied here. Now, what is he saying? For I suppose I was not a whip behind the very chiefest of apostles. So, yeah. So like, as if he was just a small thing. As knowledgeable as he was, as high of authority as he had in the school, it's almost as if he was nothing. He was a peon, because what he had taught was not being followed. So it's almost like, all right, so like what am I then? Like, especially if you're gonna accept another gospel, another Jesus altogether, then I'm sure I must be nothing, against the chief apostles too.
Right.
It's like, if you're good.
Verse 6. But thou I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
Yeah, people don't like getting cut. Keep going.
But we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things.
They've battled, and they've been through this before. They've done this whole song and dance. Like, he made his bones like a long time ago before he set these schools up. He had the authority given by Peter, given by the Most High, given by Christ. It's like he did that out of order. Given by the Most High to Yahweh Shai, to Peter, and to Paul, to set these schools up, to teach this gospel, to teach this truth. And these brothers, they were in the truth at one point. They accepted it, they understood it. But then the doctrine started going away. And again, you see that it's happened today too. That's why you got break-offs doing their own things.
Mm-hmm.
That are brand new, that probably wouldn't recognize each other, know each other in real life, just because they only know each other like on social media.
Right.
Or they, or if they're not all wearing, the same color T-shirts or something like that, it's like you couldn't pick them out in a crowd. You can pretty readily spot a UPK brother in a crowded area. Unless maybe they're out for date night or something like that, maybe they're dressed up a little bit different, but there's still normally something about them. Pretty easy to spot. We don't exactly blend in with the surrounding demographics. It's like, that was the end of that, right?
I'm gonna keep going.
No, that's basically what I wanted to end with that one. Because that's gonna lead into Proverbs 27.
Say it one time.
Proverbs 27, about Rashad.
27:1.
Starting 5. Oh. So again, in the spirit of brotherhood, to keep this thing pure, keep this thing clean, man, sometimes you gotta check. You gotta check, brothers. You gotta let them know when they're kind of going astray. So now there were other reports that Paul had when he had written to some of the other schools. It was giving them praise. It was letting them know, like, hey, listen, man, I've heard nothing but good things about you guys. Keep up the good work. Now he's coming to some of the other schools like, dude, what the hell is going on in your house? Like, what are y'all doing? You teaching something completely different that we didn't teach you, and you're running with that. Like, you got beguiled the same way he got beguiled, as if again his teachings didn't matter. as if he wasn't Paul, as if he didn't study at the feet of Gamaliel, as if he wasn't a made man in this truth, you know?
Right.
They just kind of took it for granted. They took everything that he taught. It's the same way that they do us today. They come to the truth. They take the 12 tribe chart lecture, or the breakdown. They take the salute. They take the last one for Dash, but then you can smoke weed, or I mean, the list of excuses just goes on and on and on and on and on about how they ended up bastardizing the truth. That was just something else that I heard earlier.
Right.
And you have to step in. You got to check that. You got to correct that. If you could.
Time. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 5. Open rebuke is better than secret love.
And then sometimes you got to do this on a public platform, whether it be Clubhouse, whether it be right there in the middle of the streets. Like that's why when we're on them corners, holding camp, and we gotta show some tough love to some brothers and sisters. And now again, they think that we're being rude or being disrespectful. Paul wouldn't have had it any other way.
Right.
Paul would have loved Captain Meshach.
Damn right.
He would have loved these priests and these prophets out there in the corner. He would have loved them. I just think because both of them are Benjamin, I think that there would have been a strong. I think he'd have been proud of the heads that Captain Meshach had to chop off.
Right.
And again, right out there in public, because again, some people ain't gonna just listen to they ain't gonna listen to Brotherhood. They ain't gonna listen to us trying to come together, saying that we got to separate from everybody else so that we can fix the problems in our house. They don't want to hear that, so they start doing that one thing with their face, and then Captain Meshach has to rebuke them in open, in the public, which is better than a secret love. You can kind of, in a sense, you're kind of being a respecter of persons by doing that, and you're not doing them any justice. You're not correcting the issue. You're giving them some false sense of security that what they're doing is acceptable or okay, that like they get a pass for it by not checking that right away. And the same way that in Proverbs, was it 20, Deuteronomy 21, with that rebellious and stubborn kid, the way that he had to get checked in the sight of the city, in the sight of Israel, to put fear and to send that message to the rest of the city, and that would spread across word of mouth. Sometimes these things need to get done in public,
right? So
that influence, that temptation that somebody else may have to carry that same demon after that demon gets slaughtered from that person, that same demon doesn't get attached to them,
right?
So that they can learn from that brother, that sister's mistake by looking to challenge and question the priest and the prophets of the Lord. The same way that they got rebuked with Elijah, same way they got rebuked with Elijah, same way that Daniel had to put hands on people too. You know what I'm saying? It's Nehemiah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like they held camp. They held camp too. So it's not, what we're doing is not it's nothing that's news to us necessarily. I mean, I guess in '69 it became news to us, but it's something that our forefathers had practiced, the way that they had taught, the way that they had ministered unto the people. We do the same thing. They also did charitable work. We do charitable work too. We teach the same thing. We teach about the same Yahweh Shah. We teach about the same gospel, the same covenant, everything. Keep going.
Time. Verse 6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend.
They'll be all right. They'll be all right. It ain't gonna be that bad. And it's a brother and sister, like for real, like in their spirit, in their heart, they're gonna be okay. They're gonna take that checking like a man, and you know it's going to strengthen the bond.
Right.
It's going to help secure the what's what I'm looking for, the success of the school, the success of the nation, the prosperity of the people, because you got to cast that evil out. You got to cut that down quick, fast, and in a hurry. Keep going.
God. But the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
You know that's like, you know, kind of give them a slap on the wrist, and they like I don't know if you've ever had anybody that, like, you may have had the authority over them, but they kind of got that bully mentality, and because other people are respected as a person and may cater to their ego and their personality, they just kind of brush it off.
Right.
And they'll say, "Oh, yo, kind of what kind of saying, you know, dap it up with you," and then just turn their back on it, like it's nothing, just one ear right out the other. It didn't mean nothing to them. But because, you know, you kind of softly spoke to him, like, hey, you know, Salak, you know, speak to you on the side. Now, sometimes that's the appropriate way to go. We're not out here to try to embarrass brothers and sisters, you know, especially in public setting. So sometimes it is appropriate to have to, you know, bring them to the side and speak to them on the side. But keeping that same energy. You might not have to keep that same volume, but keeping that same corrective intention for that moment. Some people, they feel that they can just skate by with it. They might be the cool kid, you know, in the group or something like that, or at their job. You've definitely seen this like a lot of slavers, but they, again, just one ear right out the other. They don't take it serious. They don't respect your authority. They don't respect, even if you don't outrank them, they don't respect the brotherhood. They don't respect the correction, because you can check a man in an appropriate way. You can check a man that is over you, that outranks you. But there's a right and a wrong way to go about doing this.
Right.
The blueprint is written right here for us. It tells you everything that you need to do and how to go about it. Keep going.
Time. Verse 7. The full soul loatheth in honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet.
So it's like, again, you're feeding into the ego. You're not correcting the issue. You're just, it's like the leavening of the Pharisees. You know, it's puffing them up even more. You know, but a hungry soul, somebody who's looking for correction, somebody who's looking for a brother, looking for knowledge. Even that checking, even though it might be harsh, they take it with stride. They take it like a man. They take it with respect. They learn from it, and then they apply the correction. So it's not you know, and this is why you also got to be seasoned with salt. You know, not every man is cut out for, you know, for the same job, for the same rank, for the same authority. Right. You got other brothers out there that are just better at their office, and you know that's why they get trusted with, you know, ranks and positions like that in the school. It's a hard task. You know, they ain't nothing easy about, you know, correcting the people that have been let loose and, you know, acting like damn savages and dogs for hundreds of years,
right,
left to their own devices and under all these different influences, and being taught that we gotta be tolerant and accepting of this, that, and the third, that would otherwise contradict our culture. That's what they're trying to take from you. They're trying to take your identity from you and give you theirs, give you something that would be, that normally would have been completely foreign to you. So yeah. So let me just respond to this brother real quick. So yeah, again, and also not having the spirit of fear on you too. Don't be a respectful person. Don't be a coward about it. If you got to go handle that job, take out that order. It's it's we're talking about a broken people that have just been wild, been running around wild for the longest. So it can be a bumpy road in the beginning, but you stick with it. You stick with it, and the men under you, they're gonna do the same thing too. That's why I said, what they say, a friend take the wound.
No, not that.
How do you say that? Yeah, it's good.
No. Faithful are the wounds of a friend.
Yeah, man. They know that you ain't trying to be, mean to them. That you ain't trying to sometimes you might have to check the shit out. Maybe they did something, that was inappropriate, that was unlawful, that was shameful to the school, to themselves, damaging the reputation of the school. And you might have to check the crap out of them. They see the error of their ways. They ain't gonna take it wrong. They ain't gonna take it harsh. They ain't gonna cower up, tuck tail and run, because their soul is hungry. So that they're gonna take that check, and that might seem bitter to most people on the outside. They're gonna take it, and they're gonna feed off of that. It's gonna produce positive results for you. It's like if you could read 7 again.
John, the full soul loatheth in honeycomb.
It's like he thinks he's got all the answers. He thinks he already knows it all. You can't tell him nothing. You can't tell him nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's the big dog. He knows what he's doing. You should be listening to him.
You ain't got the answer, Sway.
Yeah, you ain't got the answer, Sway. Can't do this. But like he thinks he should be the one running the show.
Right.
And he can't take that check. He can't take that brotherhood and respect it and accept it and protect it and treasure it and cherish it the way it's supposed to be, and to nurse this nation back to health.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you going?
But to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet.
Yeah, that brother that wants to learn, that brother, that sister that wants to grow, they'll take that correction, and they'll be okay, man. It ain't gonna be. It's worst things have happened throughout the course of our history than to get yelled at, man. Than to get checked. I promise you, it ain't gonna be that bad. It's like it.
Yeah, if I may, one thing that you gotta understand to help you receive and take a check-in is you can't be emotional.
Right.
Because if you're being emotional, that in itself is a demon, and you're gonna miss the whole spirit of why you got checked.
Right.
You gotta understand the reason why a person gets checked. Okay, like for example, if you know that you've done something and you get checked behind it, just take the accountability and move on. Some people get afraid of getting checked and think that, you getting checked, that man over you is mad at you, they hate you, they don't like you no more, or anything like that. No, it's nothing personal at all. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal whatsoever. So you just got to take it for what it is. And now the thing is, if nobody loved you, all right, that person who's checking you actually does love you. They give a damn about you. If they did not, they wouldn't say a goddamn thing to you.
Right.
And that speaks volumes. Think about all the people that you love, your family, your friends, that say that they love you. You know what I mean? And they see you doing something that's very destructive to your life. You know what I mean? But they don't say nothing. They don't try to help you with that. They truly don't love you. All right? Because a real family member, a real friend will tell you when you are doing wrong. And just out of the spirit of love, if they give a damn about you. Because some people will just be like, it's not my business. It's not my problem. It's not my issue. Like, come on, man. If you truly give a damn about this person or me, then speak up. Maybe I'm ignorant to what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
Maybe I need somebody to tell me, don't do that. Salakia, do not do that. You know what I mean? And then, okay, maybe it can open up my eyes. And that's us being in the UPK all the time. You may think that you was doing the right thing, but it could have been a mistake, a mishap. No sweat. All right, don't drown yourself in deep thought about the shit. Just let it go. Leave it alone. Just focus on the checking in the sense of what can I do next time to avoid this whole situation of me getting checked in the first place. How can I avoid the mistake so that way next time I won't ever make that mistake again? And that's what helps you grow. Check-ins do help you grow. And it definitely builds a man and a woman. You know what I mean? To really have that sense of discipline and integrity. All right? It gives you growth. And so if you don't want no damn growth, this is not the place for you.
Right.
All right? So like a sister said, you lead it with your heart instead of your mind, when the heart is the most deceitful thing. Damn right. And give her a hand. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what Jeremiah said. You damn right. The heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it? The Most High. Christians always talk about, oh, Jesus know my heart. You damn right. You know what? I'll give you a hand, Pastor. You want to know why? Because the Most High knows that you are a disgusting, filthy pork chop eating pastor. Yes. Yes, he does know your heart. He knows that you like to touch on kids. Absolutely. He knows that you like to take and steal from the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians who support you. Yes, the Most High does know that. All right. So you are absolutely right. The Most High does know your heart. He just knows how disgusting it is. All right. How just polluted. Okay. You have no love for yourself nor your people.
Right.
And just recently, a pastor just went to jail. They just arrested a pastor the other day for fraud, and fraud is something else concerning a congregation. All right, I forget the guy's name.
Embezzlement?
Huh?
Embezzlement?
I want to say embezzlement, fraud, and something. It was three things. It was a hot topic as far as the headline. So yeah, and this happened just like 2-3 days ago of this week. So you know what I mean. So good night. Like it's not a coincidence.
And how shocked are you to hear something like that?
Not at all. Not at all. TD Snakes and Joe Osteen. You know what I mean? All the other fake Israelites who then got themselves tied up. It's not a coincidence. All right. However, in the ISUPK, I mean, you never heard of a such thing. There are people out there that's going to lie on Commander Junior Hana's name. But can they prove it? Has he been arrested? No. Because one thing is, you got to understand, the Most High, if you're doing wrong, the Most High will expose you. You got to understand that, all right? If the Most High knows that you are doing, I mean, he's going to know anyway, of course. He's not on your side when you are doing evil. You can talk about how you love the Most High so much, but if you're doing evil, that shows a different story. Okay? But anyway, my bad. So like, go ahead. So like,
and when especially if this is open rebuke, it's like if you get a Proverbs 23, 13, 13. Especially in the spirit of open rebuke, people are going to see this, and you may have just saved somebody else from making the same mistake that you just got them making to get checked.
Right.
So it can be. And again, that's why that brother that's over you, it's, you got to be able to discern the situation and do what's appropriate in that moment. Sometimes, again, it is very important to take these corrective steps in the sight of the people so that everybody can learn from that example. You got that?
Come. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child. For if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die.
He'll be all right.
Right.
He'll be all right.
Right.
But again, this is not even talking. It doesn't mean it's a physical rod. Again, in these verses, this is just talking about the disciplinary action that you're taking to correct that child. They'll be okay. Correcting a brother or sister, their feelings might get hurt or something like that for a little bit. But they're gonna be okay. It's not that bad. People you can't be so afraid and think that you're so above being corrected or checked or something like that when it does happen, your mind is completely shut off to it. That's why again the soul that is full, he despises that honeycomb.
Right.
You don't think that, and you don't think that you can tell him nothing or her. And that moment is kind of wasted. Verse 4, 14, it's like verse 14.
Verse 14, thou shalt beat him with the rod.
So even if you do gotta take a stick to him, all right, good.
And shalt deliver his soul from hell.
You're doing him a solid by correcting him. And again, normally we would try to use words to try to, convey the message to the child, to the boy, to the girl. Sometimes that might not work. Sometimes you might have to be a little more stern about it. Sometimes it may need physical intervention. But it certainly ain't the end of the world. But this is also not talking about child abuse. This is talking about disciplinary action, to these kids. And just to end it off, Ephesians chapter 6, starting at verse 1.
Okay.
And then we'll close out with Zephaniah 21.
Ephesians 6. Yeah, I know this. Yeah. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right.
Now that's an important part. Read that from the top of you real quick.
So I think I read it too fast. Children, obey your parents in the Lord.
Obey your parents in the Lord.
Right.
In the Lord. If your parents are trying to tell you to go smoke crack or become a drug dealer, you do not obey that order.
Right.
That's not obeying your parents in the Lord.
Right. That's right. For this is right.
For that's right. To obey your parents, if they keep the law, statutes, commandments, and they give you a lawful order, do that. That's what's right. Keep going.
Honor thy mother, honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise.
Now, the reason why it says this is the first commandment with promise, all right, this is what you do for them. All right, how would I say this? You're supposed to keep the truth until you die. Right. Until you die. Then you get that reward.
Right.
This is more so for the duration of their life.
Right.
So that when they die, they leave you an inheritance. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is saying this is the first commandment with promise. This is about, until their life is done. Right. And then that passes on to you. Versus you're not going to get this reward like the kingdom, things like that. You're not going to get that until you die. Keep going.
God, verse 3, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth.
Keep going.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
And that's why, again, if you ain't got to beat that kid with this, if your 9-year-old cheated on a test and you ain't got to take a baseball bat to his ribcage, you ain't got to burn him with cigarettes or lighters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's that you be leading your child to wrath. And then when you get older, they ain't gonna take care of you. They might try to snuff you out with a pillow or something like that while you're sleeping.
Right.
You're gonna destroy that innocence in that individual. You're gonna destroy the things that would have made that person good. You would have killed that out of them.
So the sister said, it was fraud and extortion. That's
there you go. Yeah, no shock. No shock. They're always in some type of mess like that.
And then his name is Bishop Labor Whitehead.
Of course, he's some bishop.
Yeah, his nickname was Blaine Bishop. Good.
There you go. And nowadays, it's unfortunate. It's not even that uncommon to hear things like that in the nation of Israel.
Yeah.
Like you don't hear stuff like that in UPK. You hear about that stuff in other organizations. So.
Right.
So I can keep going.
John, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Admonition of the Lord. So again, that's also that correction. And
right.
To be admonished, the admonition of the Lord, the correction of the Lord. Keep going.
Verse 5, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh.
This is when they read different translations where it says slaves.
Right.
The proper way to read the Bible in English, you want to get the King James, either the 1611, where it's written in the old English, or you want to get the authorized King James Holy Bible. The 1611 has the Apocrypha included in it. The other one does not have the Apocrypha included, but you can get the Apocrypha sold separately. But if you want to learn how to read the scriptures properly in English, you got to go through King James. And you got to get the breakdown from the UPK. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Keep going.
Done. With fear and trembling, and singleness of your hearts as unto Christ.
Yeah, you should be wary to cross your master, to cross the men that are over you. You shouldn't how would I say? And it's not because they're being tyrants, they're tyrannical, and you're afraid of them drawing and quartering you by horses. You know what I'm saying? Or whipping your back till the meat fall off. That's not why it's saying fear them. But you don't want to be that guy that's again got to get corrected. You don't want to be just like that child. You don't want to be that child that got to get taken out to the public and Deuteronomy 21, getting stoned to death in front of the entire congregation. But you also don't want to be that person to make an offense against your master, against your teacher, against your father, against your mother. Keep going.
Done. Verse 6. Not with eye service as men pleasers, but as the servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart.
Take some pride in your job. It doesn't. I don't care if you're the janitor. I don't care if you're the trash man. If you got what would be perceived as a lowly position, take pride in that job.
Right.
Do it right. Do it to the best of your abilities. Do it through. Be thorough about it. Keep going.
Done. Verse 7. With good will doing service. Sorry, I'm trying that. With good will doing service as to the Lord and not to men.
Because again, this office that we hold, like the Lord is going to see the work that you do. Whether that man appreciates the effort that you put into the details, the working smarter, not harder. Maybe even saving yourself some time or some workload on it. So you ain't got to, it ain't got to be a back-breaking job or something like that anymore, and you can do it more efficiently. No sweat. That man may not be able to appreciate some of those nuances, but the Lord is going to see it.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Do it through and through. Keep going.
Come on. Verse 8. Knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free.
So now again, people think of that word, like being in bondage or being a servant, which again, if they look at different translations, they're going to see slavery. Their mind goes immediately back to white supremacy in America, the transatlantic slave trade, the cruelty that they treated our people with, that all these other surrounding nations treated their own people with, and everybody else that they had in their subjugation. That's what their mind goes to. The cruelty of the slave trade. That's not our culture. That is not our history. We don't do things like that to people. We don't treat them inhumanely.
That's right.
Keep going.
Verse 9. And ye masters.
This is the part that they don't forget. They stop at 5. They don't read nothing else after 5. This is what you're supposed to be getting out of it. Keep going.
Do the same things unto them, forbearing, threatening.
Like you ain't got to be that guy.
Right.
You ain't got to sit there and think you got to rule with a rod of iron. That's not what this is talking about. You shouldn't have to you shouldn't have to rule with fear. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's going to sound like it's a contradiction based off of what was said before when it's saying to serve with fear and trembling. That's not saying to rule with fear, again, because as a servant you should be afraid to make an offense to your master,
right?
Just because of again how it's saying like in everything that you're doing doing the will of God from the heart, doing service as to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You would be afraid to offend the Most High. You'd be afraid to offend Yahweh.
Right.
You should be afraid to offend, your master. And now the Most High and Yahweh, they don't rule us with fear.
Right.
They don't. But now fear is the beginning of knowledge. It's the beginning of wisdom and understanding. But again, that's talking about making an offense to our power and the consequences that absolutely can't come with that. But this is not talking about like, you know, masters, you know, go whoop your servants. You know, let them know like if they don't have this plate spotless, you know, then they're gonna get beaten, they're gonna get whipped. It's not like that. Keep going.
Done. Knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither is there respect of persons with him.
He's gonna watch how you treat people. If you're being cruel, if you're treating them like dogs and like beasts, you know, expect to get that same retribution. So just to clear up, you know, a few of them things, and again, in the spirit of brotherhood, man, it's about holding truth to that faith. It's about holding your station, holding your office, listening to the men above you. As children, you know, listen to your parents. As parents, be good to your kids. Right. Let's close out with us, Zephaniah 2:1.
Done. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
That's the mission. That's how we get this thing together. At least let's take it to the table if you got a problem. And with that, we are the ISUPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, live from you, Twin Cities, Minnesota. We're going to get into these security announcements like I left it on. So.
Yeah, no, sorry.
So Ahmad, you stand, Ahmad Jim. Between all y'all stand. Everybody get up. ISUPK security announcements. We got the ISUPK started out on 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, their off limits for 6 months. They'll be saluted only. They're here to shut themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find the Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Being sent in the Hebrew, Ma'ishra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give it to the treasury department and teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. So as far as I have seen, the Zelle app still works, so you can still go, if you got the Zelle app, first name Israelite School, last name UPK, ties@isupk.com is the email. You can pay your tithes, make donations there, otherwise get in contact with the school near you. The websites are still under construction, so wait, you know, for further updates on that. Otherwise, $, you know, on the Cash App, $ UPK Minneapolis, all caps, or Minnesota, my fault, UPK Minnesota, you know, show some love. Upcoming Holy Convocation, so we're still celebrating the Feast of Dedication, aka Hanukkah. So again, at sundown, you know, light your candles, just for safety purposes. You know, you can blow them out before you go to sleep. Otherwise, we got Purim coming up in February. Yeah, we got Passover coming up in April. So, you know, this is gonna kind of start getting into that season. It's gonna start picking up a little bit more. So get ready, get all your arrangements. You know, start going. Hotel rooms are going fast. I know I still got to book mine too and travel arrangements. You know what I'm saying? So try to get that in ahead of time so that you ain't got to pay as much and you ain't got to be stuck. So with that, it's like any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That means your boots, your shirt, your pant, headband, and no scarves. So with that, we'll find out Yaqadam, which means turn the face to the east. We'll say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. You can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verse 8 through 13. Nabanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Badash.
Badash.
Hayat.
Hayat.
Shamkat.
Shamkat.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwaka.
Malakwaka.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah.
Zaka.
Zaka.
Hayat.
Hayat.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Barakasa.
Barakasa.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Hayat.
Hayat.
Hashemayim.
Hashemayim.
Thundanawa.
Thundanawa.
Come.
Come.
Call.
Call.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalakanawa.
Wasalakanawa.
Kabawakanawa.
Kawakinawa.
Kasalakanawa.
Kasalakanawa.
Kabawakinawa.
Kawakinawa.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Tabi'anawa.
Ba'ana.
Wanasawam.
Nasawan.
Abal.
Abal.
Hawshana.
Shana.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Right.
Right.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Baka.
Baka.
Malakwa.
Malakwa.
Wa'ala.
Wa'ala.
Watapa.
Rock. Rock.
La'ulam.
Ba'alan. Aman.
In English. Our Father.
Our Father.
John David.
Start in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom
Thy
come.
will be done.
Thy will be
On
done.
earth
On earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
Lead us not into temptation.
Lead us not into temptation.
Deliver us from evil.
Deliver us from evil.
Thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the
And
kingdom.
the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Pray to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Barak Benawa.
Barak Benawa.
Yasha'al.
Yasha'al.
Wahabayah.
Wahabayah.
Sapari.
Sapari.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'ah.
Rapa'ah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Now, Salaki, just because we're over the time for time's sake, Israelite School UPK,
Israelite School UPK.
all of Israel.
All of Israel.
Bashem Yahushua.
Bashem Yahushua.
Tawad Amun.
Tawad Amun.
In English, Lord, in the name of Yahushua,
Lord, in the name of Yahushua,
bless us in Israel.
bless us in
In
Israel.
the school,
In the school.
bless,
Bless.
heal,
Heal.
shield,
Shield.
protect,
Protect.
and loved ones.
Love them.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and
and all
earth,
things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now,
Listen to us now.
right now.
Right now.
And evils and curses,
Use a curse.
punishment and destruction
Punishment, destruction.
to the heathen
To heathen.
that speak against
That
us.
speak against us.
Thy prophets,
Thy prophets.
the teachers,
The teachers,
the princes,
the princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers,
Israelite brothers,
in the school,
in the school.
and evils and
To
curses,
use a curse.
and punishment and destruction
Punishment, destruction.
to the heathen.
To the heathen.
Shake loose,
Shake
the
loose.
treasure of the rich of Israel,
The church of the rich of
that
Israel.
refuse to give to the school,
They refuse to give to the school.
force their riches,
Force their riches.
to enter thy
To
sanctuary,
thy sanctuary.
and evils and curses,
To use a curse.
and punishment and destruction
Punishment, destruction.
to the Edomites,
To the Edomites.
and the nation,
In the nation.
they drug
In
thee,
the drug deal.
court system,
Court system.
prison
The
system,
prison system.
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood.
all the governments of our enemies,
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and
the
armies.
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope,
The Pope.
Islam,
Islam.
Christianity,
Christianity.
Egyptology,
Theology.
militia,
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan,
Because Klan.
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation.
skinheads,
Skinhead.
classical Matthias,
Classical Matthias.
gay movement,
The gay movement.
lesbians,
The lesbians.
spies,
Spy.
workers of witchcraft,
Workers of witchcraft.
that's a space
As
program,
a space program.
Army,
Army.
Navy,
Navy.
Air Force,
Air Force.
Marines,
Marines.
Wall Street,
Wall Street.
open up the internet,
Open up the internet.
and the airways,
And the airways.
cable access channel,
Cable access channel.
radio channel,
And the radio channel.
convict the spirit,
Convict the
of
spirit.
any of thy people
Any of thy people.
that seek to stop
That seek to
us,
stop us.
and bring swift
And
destruction
bring
to
destruction.
all the heathen
To all the
that
heathens.
stand in the way,
That stand in the way.
or try to stop
Or
us,
try to stop
from
us.
broadcasting your word
Broadcast your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plague,
Let loose all the plague.
cause them to go to and fro,
Cause them to and fro.
through the earth and consume
To
them.
the earth consumed.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief
Let the place shake the house of the thief
and the murderer,
and the murder.
the Yahushua,
Let Yahweh shot.
Michael and Gabriel,
Michael and Gabriel.
and down to flying saucers,
Down to flying saucers.
punish all the heathen
Punish all the heathens
that come up against
that
us
come up against us.
as we speak thy
Let
word.
us speak thy word.
Cause to be known by all.
Cause we know by all.
It's the angels that have done
There's angels that have done it.
it. Cause to be spread through the media,
Cause it spread through the media.
throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake it that come.
Cause check out that coming.
And then Yahushua,
And Yahweh shot.
thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
So up in front. All right. Men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Mighty Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakadon.
Yazamatah. Sorry to the sisters, if you got any present, courtesy salute for the sisters. Men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Mighty Barak, Yahweh Shema, Shem Yahushua. Yazamatah, hands down, let's dismiss.